Now, a good example of Jesus not knowing everything would be who? Lazarus, right? He had to be told Lazarus was dead, right? And he still waited 2 days because he probably was already dead by the time the messengers got to him, right? You know what I mean? Now, he figured that out, right? Yet what? He still raised him from the dead, right? He also raised the little girl from the dead, though she died a few moments ago, right? No more than 5-10 minutes, however long it took him to get to the crowd and all that stuff, right? Now, the boy was being buried, right? Now, Lazarus and the boy were buried the same day they died. So the boy, who was outside of Jerusalem, and Lazarus too was outside of Jerusalem, only Jesus was resurrected in Jerusalem, right? But we got 4 resurrections before Dorcas and the boy who fell from the third story window, right? In Acts, right? That's 6 in the New Testament alone, right? That we know of, right? So, now Elijah raised someone from the dead, the widow's son, right? Yeah. And, right. So, that's all you got, right? 7 resurrections, right? Now, Naaman, though, was healed because he obeyed, right? Sometimes, like with my arthritis pain, people don't want to see the bigger miracles. You should have been paralyzed, right? When you fall through service as well, maybe. Or were attacked by a group of gay men in the Navy, right? Who weren't accepting that you weren't gay. Which can happen as well, Daphne. Right? Now, then they're going to quib pro quo you. What he's trying to do is make me gay with him, and I won't do it, right? He's probably offered me woman after woman after woman, right? And they're consenting to the sex, right? If I'm having the sex with them, I don't know. Point 2, right? They like it. But, good Megan. Anyway. Remember that shower scene still, right? But the thing is, right? When you're dealing with people who perceive to know you, but they don't, right? Okay, or think they know something about you and you don't agree. Some people don't want you to disagree and go on, right? Or, they want you to agree with them even if you don't agree with them. That's the problem with some people, right? That's Satan's mentality. Why? I know. Because, see, he won't let it go, right? He wants to do something with you you won't do with him, right? And it's all about you doing it with him, not anybody else either. You know what I mean, right? And you don't want him that way. That's what other people don't understand about it all. If people wake you up, right, and you're trying to figure out what's going on, that's not you doing anything wrong. You're just trying to figure out a situation. That's not a crime. No. A crime is provable, right? You can have proof. But like they say on SVU, sometimes you can't even prove they did anything wrong. Because of how they did it, right? But again, right? Now, if you're doing something in the open, right, and someone consents, that's different too, right? But they don't want you to know you were with them, right? Not the one you were with, but the other people around. But no. Now, that can be a little bit of a problem too. So, I saw Paige and Mackenzie yesterday, or Mackenzie and Paige, right? Whichever, right? This weekend, right? And Mackenzie's still cuter, Paige, but you got a nicer ass. Mm-hmm. But that's the point. That's the point. One has more childbearing hips, and the other kind of like Jacob's wife. Israel's wife, right? And see, Rachel might have been RH negative, and Leah might have been RH positive too. That's why she had more children successfully with him. Leah couldn't even have two. Now, medically, that means the person is RH negative, right? If they die with the second child, that's an indication of that, right? Now, O positive, though, is the closest blood type you can be with if you're RH negative, by the way. Mm-hmm. And it might not bother you as bad, right? To have a couple kids with them, and just not someone that's AB or B or A positive, right? As well. Now, the only one who might not could be with an RH, O positive man is O negative, right? So that's a double O negative, right? I was told it was O negative, O positive, but that don't work, right? That it couldn't sustain itself somehow, right? Mm-hmm. But that could be a myth. I don't know. But if O negative exists, that's two O negatives, right? Usually. So that means not only is there O positive in the gene, in the blood, there's also O negative, and you need two for it to be perfectly O negative. Now, an O positive person can be O negative, right? You wouldn't know. The O positive would be dominant, right? The positive is always dominant over the negative, right? But it's also about timing. If somehow the last time Mary Bell were together, it appears as that's when Patrick could have been conceived based on the birth weight, right? And the 2 weeks pre-weight, right? Before the child's big enough to be weighed, right? Technically. The first 2 weeks don't count, so that's 12 days, right? To 14 right? At the longest. So I don't know if she was Stephen before me at all or not, right? That's what I mean, right? But the birth weight before the 7th month is consistent with everyone, Maribel. It don't change. It don't get bigger till the 7th month, and then the 7th, 8th, and 9th month is when the baby packs on the weight. Before that, they're all under 2 pounds, right? By the 6th month, right? Now, they'll go to like 3 pounds by the 7th, right? And then 4 pounds by the 8th. And 4.5 is around between 8 and 9, right? And that's why Patrick traces back to September, not December, right? But what happened is, okay, if you're not having sex with someone, right, their birth control pills is in their house, right, and you got pregnant somehow and you're denying it, or I'm not sure either, right, means they tampered with it, or you got the bad, right? which is another possibility. Sometimes I've heard this, another rumor, is Planned Parenthood and the companies that do that will give you a bad batch to see if you get pregnant. Well, to test a relationship or whatever reasons they do it, or to get the girl pregnant to get an abortion. Okay, I've heard that. I can't prove that. That's kind of a rumor either from the um, pro-lifers or I don't know, right? I can't prove that, right? But that's what I heard, right? They do too, right? So that's the only two ways though you can get pregnant is if they did a bad batch or something, right? And you got it, or Steven messed with your birth control pills. See, cheating on you has nothing to do with birth control pills. Ain't gonna get you pregnant or not unless you got the bad batch, or again, Steven messed with it. No, even when we would be together, it would be around the 20th. Some way. Now, if he's lying about it, he's blaming you because you lied about fucking me, right? And I didn't even know I could get you pregnant because they're not telling me none of that stuff. So I'm just trying to break up with you by then. You won't commit. No. Enough for me to say, well, this girl loves me, and I was feeling like I love you and you didn't love me. And that's how you're not wanting to be in Georgia with me, but staying around Steven all the time, right? Which makes me think you don't are bothered by the schizophrenia or something too. And like I said, right? I can't do nothing about that. Now, if you commit a crime, they usually arrest you for that crime the night you did it, especially if the mom's there. The only way she wouldn't arrest you is if child did something awkward, right? While you're trying to help her go to the bathroom or take a bath with you, then you think better of that, right? See, that's not a crime, right? Any parent could do that, right? See, you're confusing a criminal act with a natural one, right? You're trying to make it criminal because you're trying to quid pro quo me.
Yes, you are.
Yes, you are. But I won't quid pro quo you. I won't let you do that. I'm not going to do that to a child who I think needs to go to the bathroom or take a bath with me, right? But if I get undressed, that's not a crime either, because the guy in the Pampers or the Huggies commercial got in the shower with his child. So fuck you. I can take a bath with a child, but there again, or even Daphne's child, and it's not a crime. Depends on if I get on top of her now, if I'll start mounting her or something, or try to put it in something. Then you can say that's attempted rape at least, right? If I don't even get on top of her, that's still a guess, because, if they have a tape or something too, they know what happened, right? They're not supposed to either, because that's Orwell's government, 1984. Someone trying to set me up with a 4-year-old, now they can take the bait quite. But if I stuck my head down there, they want to pretend I did something more than I could have done in a few seconds. I did that, unless I was just seeing if she peed. And then they would have a problem with that, but don't milk and make sure it's that already pee. You don't know. She might have been in there since 8 or 9 o'clock. That's a couple hours. That's no time to have to pee. All you know is you usually go to bed around 11 on the weekends, right? Or weekdays, right? And a little bit later on the weekends if you want to watch a movie or something. So typically it's between, no later than 1. Things like that. I mean, your normal routine with your wife before you met her is all you would know, right? But then she would have to do something out of the ordinary herself and come there to eat. Which, you wouldn't know initially if that involved Daphne or not either. You wouldn't really treat it that way initially either if you're just saying, oh, well, she might need to go to the bathroom or she's right there in my face, right? Those are easily taken care of situations, right? All you gotta do is what? Either help her go and she go, or if she don't go, then you won't do your bead, and then if you don't go do that else, you might say, well, what's she doing here laying half-ass naked? Maybe she wants a bath, then I'm not sure if she had a bath or not that night either, right? So you're not thinking more criminally, but more, like you would with raising your sister, where you might have had to bathe her, help her take baths, right? Even bubble baths sometimes. That's not criminal behavior. That's quid pro quo in someone trying to act like they did something worse than you want to do to them and try to make it a crime when it's someone. Trying to act like you did something wrong to bully you or blackmail you into it. That's what it is. It's blackmail. But how you know? How you know? That's the point too. Right? Now Daphne ain't gonna blackmail her own husband by using her daughter's bait normally either, would she? Right. That might get her and Grandma in trouble. Well, see, Grandma raised her, and everybody knows that. But two men, her dad and Sal, might. That's all you need for reasonable doubt. Anyways, to say they might could have had some kind of contact with her if she's acting like that around you, baby, right? You're making it up now, right? Not saying that, right? Based on raising your sister and the things that happened before you joined the team, right? But it can get too sexual or too weird, right? Little weird sometimes, right? But not too far. Into a crime, or something you're not really supposed to do yet, right? But also, you can let things go if they're not that bad, right? But someone who won't let it go is a quid pro quo. Bye, M6.